Hello techies, welcome back to Elfin Code channel. If you have yet not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and like the video and hit the notification button. So today we are going to talk about virtual environment. So basically virtual environment is a kind of isolated space which we are creating where we can install all the packages which is specific to our project need. So let's suppose if you have multiple project running in your server, you might be having one base installation of Python, but you don't want that variant of the Python to get disturbed. So what exactly you can do, you can create multiple virtual environment depending upon the number of project you have on your server, and each virtual environment will be catering to one single project. So let's say in one of the project you are using one variant of a Python package, let's say Pandas. So that variant may be differing to the other project where it is using in some different variant of Pandas. So it will not get conflicted if you have a separate virtual environment where every installation of your project specific need is present. So that's the reason why we keep isolated environment from project to project. Now here in this video we will be talking about how to create virtual environment using PyCharm. So there are basically two way to create a virtual environment using PyCharm. The first one is when you have a project, already existing project, and that project is not having any existing virtual environment. The second way is when you are creating a new project altogether. So how we can create virtual environment while creating the new project in PyCharm. Okay, so let us see the first way. Okay, for seeing the first way, I've opened my PyCharm. So what I can do, I let me go to a particular directory here. So here I'm trying to create a folder. Let's say it is project 1, and inside this project 1 I have a file app.py. So let me create one file here, app.py. Okay, fine. So now this is my project, which is a kind of existing project, project 1. Okay, now this project is not having any virtual environment in it. So how can we create virtual environment for such kind of project? Okay, so let us go to the PyCharm, and I say that I want to open the existing project. So I go to the file, I go to open, and then I give the project directory. So here is my project directory, project 1. Okay, so I click OK. I say trust project and this window. So it is opening my project, okay, which is nothing but project 1. Now here if you see, it is using the base variant of my Python interpreter. How we can see that, if you go to here in the file, in setting, in project, and in the project interpreter, you can see this is a base variant of the Python which is installed on my machine, is being shown as a Python interpreter. So I don't want to use this. Instead I want to create a virtual environment, and I want to install all my Python, basic Python and Python framework and all basic libraries inside that virtual environment. So any specific need to my project 1 will get installed in that virtual environment. So that is something which I need to do. So what I can do, I can add an interpreter here, add local interpreter. Now here there's a tab virtual environment. Okay, so here I will say new virtual environment, and I'll give a name. So if you see this particular location, this location is nothing but our project location. So if it is not like this, you need to just change it to your project location, which is project 1 in my case. Okay, now here you are saying that I mean here there's an option to select which base variant Python you want to use it. So in my machine I have 3 different Python installation available: Python 3.9, Python 3.11, and Python 3.12. So I'm keeping Python 3.9 as my base variant. So Python 3.9 will be used to create the virtual environment for my project 1. Okay, so I'm clicking OK. So now if you see, it is creating a virtual environment. Okay, now if I say apply, so here you can see the basic packages are already available here. Okay, and I'll say okay. You can ignore this one. Okay, now here if you see, the virtual environment is already being created. Okay, now to validate whether this virtual environment is working or not, you need to activate the virtual environment. So to do that, we will go to the terminal here. Okay, so now if you see the virtual, we are already inside the virtual environment VENV. It is showing like this. So when it shows like this, okay, this PS is nothing but your PowerShell. Okay, and here in the bracket, it is showing VENV. So when it is showing like this as the first word, then ultimately it tells that you are inside the virtual environment. Any installation you will be doing, it will go to this virtual environment. Okay, instead of going to the basic environment. But we will also see how we can activate. It is already by default activated, but we will see how we can activate it by ourselves. Okay, so to see how we can activate, the first thing we will do is, let us deactivate this virtual environment. So to deactivate, we will be writing like this: deactivate. Okay, so now your virtual environment is already deactivated. Fine. So this venv is completely out from this PowerShell script. Okay, now to activate it, we have, I already knew the command for activate is activate.ps1. PS is nothing but your PowerShell. Okay, so I already knew, but I want to show you how you can find out this particular command. Okay, so to find out this particular command, what you can do, you can just go to cd venv cdvenv. This is the virtual environment which we have created, and then we can do cd sources. Okay, cd, not sources, scripts. Okay, now if you do ls, here if you see, let me expand this. Here if you see, there are various activate file present. Activate bat, and all these different files are already present. Okay, so what exactly you need to do, you need to use activate.ps1. Okay, now see, we now encountered some kind of error. Now if you look at this error, it says that it is not a recognized command. Okay, now at the same time, it is also suggesting that if you want to use this particular command, you need to put dot/activate.ps1. Okay, so we can try out this dot/activate.ps1. Okay, dot slash activate dot ps1. Okay, so now if you see, we have the virtual environment already activated. Okay, so this is how you can activate any virtual environment. Okay, so this is one way where you have the project already created and you are adding one new virtual environment in this project. So let us now consider the other way, where you are creating a new project altogether, and by the time you are creating this new project, you want to add a virtual environment in it. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us create a new project. So I will be considering the same project location where I have created this project one. So my project location was Pi project here. So I'll use this Pi project. You can choose your environment, your project location. I'll say project 2. Okay. Now Now here, while creating the project 2, I'm getting the interpreter to select. So if I take new environment using virtual environment, so here it tells that, do you want to create a kind of new virtual environment, or you want to use the existing one in the sense the base variant, which is already installed on your machine. So you can select this new environment using this virtual environment. Okay, so you can name anything. So in the last example, we have used VENV. So here we can use VENV1, let's say. Okay, and the base interpreter variant, I'm choosing 3.9, and then I'm saying that Okay, so here you can check this box as well. So it will create a Python file along with your virtual environment. Okay, if you don't want this, you can uncheck that as well. Okay, so I'm going to open this project in this window itself. Great. So here, if you see, my project 2 is already being created, and it is coming with one Python file, which is main.py, and it is also coming with one virtual environment VENV1. Okay. Now let us see whether we are having this virtual environment activated or not. So here we can see the virtual environment is already activated. So for deactivating, it is deactivate. Okay. And to make it activate, so we will say slash activate dot ps1. Okay. Okay. Let me go to the uh, VENV1 CD scripts and then ls. Okay. I have this activate ps1. So here you can see the virtual environment is activated. So this is how you can activate or deactivate the virtual environment. So in this video, we learned three things. One, what is virtual environment? Two, how to create virtual environment when you already having a project, but that project was running under the base interpreter Python interpreter variant. So there you included a new virtual environment. And the third thing which we learned is how to create a virtual environment when you are taking a new project altogether. So while creating the new project, we created the virtual environment along with it. Okay, so if you have any further doubt on creating the virtual environment using PyCharm, please put the please add your queries in the comment section, and also do visit our URL, which is describing the entire and entire way of creating virtual environment. Not just it is constrained to creating virtual environment using the PyCharm, but also how you can create the virtual environment using the command prompt. So it is mentioning everything in the post itself. So I will be giving that post link in the description section. Please go and visit elfincode.com to understand and learn more about any topic from the Python. Thank you for checking out this video.